breaking news we want to get straight to on 12. I'm Noelle Lilly. Today, a Brooklyn man took a plea deal in connection to a grueling murder that shook our borough back in 2023. Thanks for watching News 12 Brooklyn. News 12's Julia Joseph was inside of the courtroom where it all happened. Now, Julia, you have the latest on this horrifying story. What can you tell us?
Brian was led inside the courtroom today, handcuffed, wearing a gray shirt, a beanie, and an orange rosary around his neck. There was one moment where police unlocked his hands. It was for him to sign a piece of paper. He pleaded guilty. This scene is hard to forget. 31-year-old Ryan Carson sitting on a bench with his girlfriend when police say 18-year-old Brian Dowling came out of nowhere and attacked them. Carson was stabbed in the heart and died that morning. Back in court today, Dowling gave his family sitting behind me a sad, dull look, much more composed than on the day he turned himself in a year and a half ago. On the other side of the courtroom, around 30 friends and family members of Carson's, many of whom shedding tears throughout the appearance. And then the moment everyone was waiting to hear, Dowling pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. "Is that what you want to do, sir?" asked the judge. "Yes, sir," Dowling said with confidence, and now faces 20 years to life locked up. Dowling's next court date is scheduled for the afternoon of February 19th, and I'm told Carson's support system wants to be inside of that courtroom when Dowling is sentenced. In downtown Brooklyn, Julia Joseph, News 12.
New this morning, police say that two 17-year-old boys got their mouths taped and heads shaved after getting attacked at a Syosset park. Detectives say that it happened during a meetup with three other boys at Corcus Drive Playground last night around 5:30. That's when the suspects allegedly threw the victims to the ground and punched them multiple times before taking items from their pockets and then running away. Police say that they found the three suspects and then arrested them. They're now charged with robbery, assault, and unlawful imprisonment.
And thanks for joining us, everyone. We start with a man found dead in Rockland County. And first responders say this bitter cold may be to blame. Diane Caruso has the details.
And they found a person who was frozen on a park bench.
Tim Egan says a Rockland paramedic responded to Spring Valley Monday morning, and a man believed to be homeless was found dead, likely due to the weather. News 12 meteorologist Addison Green says it was 30 degrees there Sunday night, and by Monday at 8 a.m. it was 16 degrees, but felt like 7. He adds that as temps drop, so does the length of time needed to develop hypothermia.
What are symptoms people should look out for in this kind of cold weather?
Watch your fingers, your toes for blistering, redness, then turning pale to not feeling your fingers. And then when you're out there, if you find yourself not shivering anymore.
Dr. Ramona Vanel is an emergency room doctor at Montefiore Nyack, where folks should go when they think they have hypothermia.
We're here 24/7. Come. Don't hesitate if there's any concern.
Egan says Rockland Paramedic Services has seen calls go down the last 7 days compared to the previous week, which he says could be because cold temps are keeping folks inside, where he suggests everyone be.
Don't go outside in this kind of weather unless you have to.
Diane Caruso, News 12.
And there is no word yet on the exact cause of that man's death.
An update tonight on Ziggy the Fox. Photos went viral after she was stranded on the ice on Barnegat Bay. Now the fox is in the hands of wildlife experts. Jim Murdoch shows us the big-hearted folks behind the scenes who helped make the rescue happen.
This story is pretty amazing. The community is banded together to save this guy.
A happy ending to a story that captivated social media viewers since the weekend. Photos like this one blew up online, showing the fox all alone in the middle of the bay, but Ziggy's story began nearly 2 months earlier.
We had a little fox that came to my house over 50 days ago that I was trying to trap for, to get him rehabilitated with Karen Cooper in Cooper's Fox Den.
Shane Coyle rallied first responders and drone pilots to follow the fox after it was seen on the ice. Finally, the improbable happened. Ziggy somehow made it to shore.
Got him! Yes!
promise you're gonna be saved, buddy.
They are not an aggressive species. However, any scared animal can bite.
Hours later, experienced veterinarian Mayanne Racer had the little fox in her care at Bayshore Animal Hospital in Homedale.
She was pretty scared already. I basically did the bare minimum, gave her some antibiotics, some pain management, gave her a first dose of mange medication.
Ziggy will remain in the care of the hospital for another night or so, and then we'll move in with Karen Cooper, a licensed fox rehabilitator.
I've never seen so much outreach and so many people from, other states even, who are inquiring about where it was, how it's doing.
This little fox really showed us what it's like to come together, not only as a community, but as coexisting with humanity and animal instincts, showing a will to survive. It's just really so many lessons on lessons learned by this little fox, Ziggy.
Jim Murdoch, News 12, New Jersey.
In case you were wondering, the experts say it is mating season for foxes, and if you happen to see one who looks sick, contact a licensed wildlife rehabilitator. We have a list right on our website, news12.com.
Is dead following an overnight crash on the Belt Parkway. News 12's Rob Flagg joins us from Bath Beach. Rob, what can you tell us?
Yes, Saida, I want you to take a look at this dent in the fencing and all of these broken, mangled remains of the car that crashed here early this morning. The 23-year-old driver unfortunately losing his life. Now, police say he was on the Belt Parkway just shortly after 1 o'clock this morning when he lost control of that vehicle and he skid off of the road, striking an electric pole here on the Belt Parkway. Now, crews are out repairing that pole earlier today, and luckily there was no outage as a result of it being struck. Now, as we were driving over here to the scene early this morning, we did notice quite a bit of black ice on the Belt Parkway, so certainly something to keep an eye out for, though police have not yet released the reason for this crash. But certainly you can see a lot of folks are driving by us now. The Belt Parkway conditions are improving, yet still a good idea to try and keep that speed low if you can when you're on the Belt Parkway. In Bath Beach, Rob Flagg, News 12 Brooklyn.
Former President Joe Biden's decision to commute a federal drug sentence for a local man involved a high-profile double murder, drawing quick reaction in Bridgeport today. Our Frank Recchia has that story.
In the final moments of the Biden administration came a decision that would ignite controversy here in Bridgeport and across Connecticut.
I'm astonished and frankly appalled by this clemency decision.
Biden commuting a federal drug sentence for this man, Adrian Peeler of Bridgeport, one of almost 2,500 people convicted of nonviolent drug crimes to receive clemency from Biden. Only thing is, Peeler had also been convicted in one of the most notorious violent crimes in Connecticut history.
I remember it like it was yesterday, as I'm sure a lot of people in the Bridgeport community do.
It was a day Wayne Winston will never forget, when he drove past this property in the north end of Bridgeport in 1999 and saw it swarming with police. It was here where authorities say Peeler fatally shot Karen Clark and her 8-year-old son, B.J. Brown, on the orders of his brother, Russell Peeler.
The little boy was brutally shot with a Glock like an animal.
The child was set to be a key witness against Russell Peeler in an earlier deadly shooting. Adrian Peeler was sent to prison for 25 years, then remained behind bars on a 35-year sentence for drug dealing. With the latter sentence now commuted, he'll soon be coming home.
That's like a hole in the system, something that fell through the cracks, and it's unforgivable.
My hope is that this astonishing, really appalling decision on clemency will help to support and fuel the movement for reform.
The 8-year-old murder victim, after whom a park is named here in Bridgeport, was also the inspiration for a state witness protection program that includes special protections for children. Blumenthal calling the Peeler sentence commutation a horrifying insult to that legacy. In Bridgeport, Frank Recchia, News 12, Connecticut.
Frank, thank you. Former high-ranking Bridgeport fire official found dead today after failing to show up for sentencing at Bridgeport Superior Court. Our Frank Recchia has the story.
It was here along the shoreline on the east end of Bridgeport where police could be seen blocking access to this pier, a place where you can see Bridgeport off in the distance. And police say it was here,
I'm really proud of the guys,
where they found Harold Clark Sr., a 35-year veteran of the Bridgeport Fire Department, deceased. The former assistant fire chief convicted last year of sexually assaulting a woman here at his home on Griffin Avenue when Clark failed to show up at Bridgeport Superior Court today, where he was set to be sentenced, a punishment that could have brought up to 2 decades behind bars. The GPS monitor he was wearing led police here.
I'm not going to say that I know what he was going through, but I have a feeling of what he was going through.
Longtime friend Mary McBride Lee telling us she never saw any hint of the Harold Clark whose arrest warrant painted a disturbing picture.
I'm not going to say anything negative about him, but I'm going to say everything positive because that's the only thing that I'm sure of.
No one expected this.
Wayne Winston,
The first time ended in a mistrial.
who says he knew Clark for most of his life,
Effective rescues.
telling us the untimely death has left 2 families in shock.
And the family, that expected justice today, I pray for them. I pray for the young lady who absolutely has a lot to think about.
Police giving out very few details of what exactly happened here that led to Clark's death.
I was trying to get in touch with him.
McBride Lee urging everyone to give both families space in the wake of this sudden, tragic development.
That was sad. That was sad. That was sad.
In Bridgeport, Frank Recchia, News 12, Connecticut.